up, guys? Welcome to Roanoke's Peaks and Valleys, where we talk about all things Roanoke, good and bad. That's right. And then sometimes we just sound like two old men griping about things.
That's right. That's what I'm good at.
I am Rob, and this is...
And I am JR.
And welcome to our tonight's podcast. Last week, I forgot to announce that it was our 10th podcast.
Right.
Yeah, so we hit the big number 10.
10 weeks. Woo!
We hit the number 10 last week, so I can't wait to hit that, 25 and then 100. And
that's right.
So we'll get there. We'll get there.
And y'all just deal with us. I'm going to be here.
We got Lux from California.
Hey, what is up, Lux?
Watching us. Can you guys hear us okay?
Please, for the love of God.
I know. We always have some kind of drama on this show.
We put way too much effort into that for y'all to have not heard it.
Hear that? He said he tried way before the Hokies hired Pry to ask Deion Sanders. They can hear us.
Okay. Good deal. So how's it going, Roanoke?
So, Lux, are you a... born and raised. I was going to ask if he's been to Roanoke. He's born and raised in Roanoke. When did you leave Roanoke? And then Little Bit's on here. She said she can hear us.
Good deal. She's usually our sound check.
Mm-hmm. So we'll wait for him to answer.
Yeah.
How was your week?
Not bad. I usually say uneventful, but heck, we got out of here last week, went home, started setting up for my 1-year-old grandbaby's birthday party. We had the party at our house for the 1-year-old, and then Saturday we went to our son-in-law's parents' house. They had a birthday party for his grandma, who was turning 80. So we kind of run the whole spectrum of ages in our family.
Oh, nice. So you're all partied out then?
Yeah, but it sounds like we got more, because we got somebody that turned 11 while he was in California. Happy birthday, Matthew. And I think there's another kid, I just don't remember if it's Elliot or Oliver, that we need to do his birthday party this coming weekend.
Okay.
But yeah. And then my Layla bug decided to break my glasses on me Tuesday. So hopefully National Optical will get me some new eyeballs in next week.
You should have revenged the nerds them and put the tape on them. And
ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Could have been rocking. I would have put
guess
tape
how
on
I'm
all three corners.
Guess how I'm coming in next week.
That's right. That's right. At least until your glasses come in.
That's right.
Cool. And I know you're getting ready. School starting up next week.
Yep,
and so
on Wednesday.
School shopping and all that other crazy.
We finished up school clothes this past weekend.
Okay.
Yeah. So the number that we're gonna talk about later, pretty close.
Yeah, it's awful. I was talking to a friend, and he said when he was a little kid, they were allowed one pair of shoes for the school year.
Right.
And he said, every year he would get boots because they lasted.
Right.
He said one year he had to have those Nikes. He said he wasn't a whole semester in and blew those things out and had to,
Yeah.
So that's crazy. School, it can be expensive to school shop.
It can.
And where we homeschool, we have a problem with our daughter wanting to do everything in pajamas.
Right.
And so we have the rule that, hey, you have to get up. You have to get dressed, just as if we're going to,
And that's actually a Mary rule too. She doesn't care if it's summer. She doesn't care, and not she's not being mean. She's just being practical and trying to set the kids up for success. And the concept of, look, you're gonna feel better. You're gonna feel more motivated to do stuff today if you get dressed. Get up, do your hair, get dressed, handle your business.
Right. It's crazy how it's all changed. I know when we were kids, you had to get dressed. I mean, actually, when we were kids in the summertime, you got kicked out when the sun came up.
You got up in the morning. You might get breakfast. It could be cinnamon toast. It could be eggs. Mm-hmm. Depends on mom that morning, and then you didn't see her ass till it got dark.
Right.
There was one mom in the neighborhood each day that pinch hit for everybody else. For lunches.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lux says he's from from Salem. He grew up at the Baptist home. He left here in the 80s and actually grew up at the Baptist home too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there late 80s and then part of the early 90s.
Okay.
So he may have been gone.
He probably left just before you got there.
Yeah, absolutely. He said he lived in Montville and then learned how to fight and play school at Indian Village in Fallon Park. It was like, he must be my brother. We lived both of those places.
Right.
Right before, actually, when I went into foster care, I lived at Indian
Fallon
Village.
Park? Yeah.
And went to Fallon Park Elementary. So, yeah, we may know each other. And just,
Damn, y'all just missed each other.
Absolutely. We were right behind each other.
Sounds like your family, man. If you come on out here, we got you a bed.
That's right. Yeah, Miss Nancy. Yes, I love Miss Nancy. She was in Titmus. It was one of the cottages. So when you first get there, you go into the emergency care part, and that's where they keep you for about 3 months or so. Make sure you're not, going to run away and things like that, and trouble and stuff.
Right. And if it was the 80s, make sure you weren't addicted to anything, because we were having a lot of addictions that went on to the kids back in the 80s.
And they've still hitting the Roanoke area. Yeah. So my week was really uneventful. I got to go out and talk to the people at Roanoke Antique Mall.
Okay, out there on 460.
Mm-hmm. So
nice.
I didn't even know the place was there, and so we'll have some video of that next week.
Okay.
I didn't have time to get all the video together, and actually I went out there yesterday, talked to them, videoed some, and then got home and I didn't like the video because it was like kept moving. I tried to use something different,
right.
And it kept moving. So
if you played it, make everybody dizzy.
And yes, I absolutely fished in the pond. I caught a 8-pound catfish. The Baptist home had its own pond.
Oh, okay.
And so I caught an 8-pound catfish out of their pond.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Kind of cool.
Nice.
And it may have been, like that big.
Right.
But
that's when you have a little G.I. Joe holding up the fish for your picture.
Absolutely. So yeah, then we got switched over from Cox to Glow Fiber.
Did
today.
you? So they're in your neighborhood?
They're in my neighborhood,
Damn.
and just on my cell phone, I went from like 150 megabytes per second to almost 700 megabytes per second on my phone. Crap. Yeah.
Nice.
So I can definitely see a difference on my phone and need it.
Well, good.
So other than that, we didn't have farm school this week because they're on vacation for a month.
Right.
So no farm school. Got a lot of green beans and cherry tomatoes out of the garden.
There you go. Good deal.
So, but other than that, it was kind of uneventful.
Nice.
So
sometimes you need a week like that.
Yeah. Now, one of the events that did happen this week, Peewee Heman died.
I know. I remember making such fun of him. What a nerd. I'm going to miss Peewee.
Mm-hmm.
Hilariously, the last thing I saw Paul Rubens in was The Blacklist.
Okay.
So how he made that leap, I have no idea.
That's right.
But even in The Blacklist, he was afraid of blood.
Oh, wow. I had no idea that he was 74.
Me neither.
I mean, I knew he was older than me, but I didn't know he was 74.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that old.
Right. Even my wife Selena, she's like, "Well, he's older than my dad." I was like, yeah. Right. Nobody even had a clue about that. Lux wants us to send him some Deb's lemonade.
I just
We'll pack him some dry ice. Do you know you can get Deb's lemonade in a 5-gallon bucket?
I have heard rumor about that. I've actually never tasted Deb's lemonade, but Mary and Heather tell me that they're not sure if they're going to re-up my citizenship if I don't try Deb's lemonade.
I think we might have to start like a Roanoke bucket list. And, you have to check off little things.
Right.
Because,
stuff you got to do in the first 5 years.
You haven't been to the Wiener Stand, right? Or have you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But not Texas Tavern.
Not Texas Tavern.
Black Dog Salvage.
I've not been, and I've driven by 100 times.
Yeah, see, we're going to have to get you
Yep.
Yeah. You can, but yeah, the Deb's lemonade, you can buy it, or used to be able to buy it in 5-gallon buckets. You had to bring your own bucket.
Okay.
And so I used to do it for open houses.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I would bring in a 5-gallon bucket of Deb's and I would advertise it as Deb's lemonade there.
Right.
And so I got a ton of people there, even if they just came for the Deb's lemonade.
Right.
But
I don't care what brought you to the table as long as you got here.
That's right. Yeah. So they give you a little ladle and everything, and
right.
you scoop it out. And back then it was like $45 for a 5-gallon bucket.
Right.
It's probably
120.
Yeah, 145 now. But yeah. Incandescent light bulbs gone.
Are gone. Well, I mean, go find your hardware store today or tomorrow, because they're not going to make any more.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you'll probably find them on closeout.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to pile them all up and toss them, because that's kind of.
And while I'm against it being a law, it's, when was the last time you put an incandescent bulb in your house?
It's been a while. I do like incandescent because these LEDs, and I didn't realize this until we set up our studio here. A lot of the LEDs, you have to check the packaging because not all of them are dimmable.
Right.
And so if you get it and you try to dim it, it'll flicker.
Right.
I was like, oh, what the heck is wrong with this thing?
Right.
And so then I realized that it absolutely, that you have to get the dimmable
right.
LEDs.
Actually read it.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, they're good for our studio, but I like the warm part of how the incandescents were.
Oh, yeah. And, because the LEDs, you can't, a lot of them you can dim. But even dimmed, they're just so much brighter than an incandescent. I think, I still say that's why I'm in glasses. Has nothing to do with, becoming a realtor and looking at a computer.
Right.
That doesn't have anything to do with that.
Well, they say that, and I haven't read, I'm not a doctor. I won't even play one on TV. But they say that the LEDs actually cause headaches.
Okay.
And I don't know.
That explains a little bit.
Lux said that the best local commercial ever was Valleydale. Were you here for the Valleydale commercials?
I was not.
All right. So, Lux, if you tune in next week, we're going to play JR the Valleydale commercial, because I'm sure I can get it on YouTube somewhere. So we'll do a blind reaction of the Valleydale commercial. So Valleydale, do you know what Valleydale is?
Is that the quarry?
No. So that's Rockydale.
Okay.
Valleydale, we had our own, like, they made bologna and sausage and bacon. And
oh, dear Lord. This is going to be Oscar Mayer?
No, not Oscar Mayer. It was
I'm just saying.
It was local, like that. And so they were in Salem. And you know where the municipal ball field is?
Okay. That's where I've seen
almost right in behind there. Okay. And so they had, so they made all this stuff. My stepfather, I remember, heck, I was 4 or 5 maybe 6. I hadn't started school yet, but we lived in Spanish Trace, which is off of the Salem Turnpike. Okay. It's no longer there; it's a field.
Okay, gotcha.
And he actually worked in the butcher part of, or the slaughter part of Valleydale. And he would come home, and I can still
the kill
remember
floor?
that smell. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a different.
It was kind of a smoky smell. I mean, it just
it
wasn't good. But so we had our own.
And there's not a happy day on that floor.
Now, Lux, did you know that they're making that into apartments? And so it's going to be little condos or studio apartments or whatever they're doing. So they've started a big renovation on that. Maybe I'll ride by there this week and see where they're at with it. And
right. Okay.
Maybe we'll have something on next week's show.
Nice, I like it.
Lux wants to know where you're from.
Who, me? I'm from Newport News, Virginia. Almost nobody knows where Newport News is unless you're from the 5 cities or the 7 cities in that area. So I'm from Williamsburg.
That's right.
And we've touched on it a couple times over the couple weeks. There's part of me that misses getting my feet in the salt water, but I wouldn't trade that for these mountains at all.
See, I don't mind the salt water. It's the sand getting there.
Yeah,
I need a boardwalk all the way out to the water and then right in there.
Well, you just tell them you're handicapped and somebody will build you a little ramp. You go to Yorktown Beach, they've got that.
That's right.
It's out there 100% of the time.
So here's Lux. He says, we'll laugh, but he's never been to Newport News.
Yeah, most people haven't. There's a reason they call it, the nickname is Bad News.
That's right. And talking about bad news.
Yep, we got to cover the valleys. We're up to 21 homicides this year in Roanoke. which I guess is double from 2018.
Right.
And 17 of those homicides are gun related.
Yeah. And I think, and actually, I don't even know anymore. Maybe we'll reach out to, I've got some friends over that are big in the community and great role models over there. Maybe we'll reach out to them. But I used to think that it's all just, drunk people downtown and get in a fight. And
right.
I think, a lot of it's drug related and people are just stupid nowadays.
Yeah.
When we were young, if you were mad at somebody, you fought them.
Yeah.
And then it was over. Either you were enemies or your best friends.
Right.
And that was you didn't talk again. It was it. And nowadays it seems to be.
Some of my best friends started at fights.
Yeah. And so nowadays it's one of those things that you just shoot somebody.
Yeah.
So,
well, and that's one of the things to keep in mind. I mean, 21 is probably a high number for Roanoke. But coming from bad news, that was kind of January.
Right.
That being said, I think a lot of it in Roanoke, and we've discussed this off camera, I would say of those 21, I'm willing to bet 18, maybe 19, probably knew it was coming. They knew the person.
It wasn't some 4-year-old little girl that got
shot.
Yeah,
it wasn't somebody from a
Chicago
stray bullet, because they sprayed 18 into the car.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they were all pretty much planned. And let's see, Lutz is on it tonight. He said.
Well, I'm happy to have him.
I know, absolutely. He said they have Kelly he loves California for the weather, but not the earthquakes. And then he said in California they have 21 a month. And that's a lot, but when you look at the population,
exactly,
and that's where it looks like Roanoke's so dangerous. But
right.
I've never been mugged or robbed, and I do a lot of work in that area.
And I know things change, but being in real estate, and now that we have the podcast, every now and then I'll look. So I used to just scroll right by when it would say, the most dangerous towns in Virginia, or the top 10 whatever cities in Virginia. I used to always just scroll by it, whatever, da-da-da-da-da. And I get it. I'm sure things have changed, maybe for the better at some of these places. But they'll name places, In one of the lists I saw, Roanoke was more dangerous than, I can see it, Colonial Heights, right outside Richmond. And I read that. I looked at Mary and I went, somebody's smoking dope.
And I think it's...
because Colonial, I don't want to be a passenger in Colonial Heights. I don't want to drive anywhere unless it's to work. And I want that to be a company-supplied bus. Take us all in. Y'all got us covered.
Yep. And I think that's, it all depends on whose list and what they compare the numbers to.
Right.
So it's one of the, you can spin it however you want.
Exactly.
We live here and we know how it is. So, and that's all that matters. Speaking of living here, I don't even know. I don't have that kind of time.
Come on, Tim. I love you. I appreciate your work ethic, but.
So Tim Lewis logged his 500th trip to McAfee's Knob this week.
Yeah, since 2015.
Yeah, he's been doing it 1 to 2 times a week since then. I wouldn't have. I mean, it's a 8 mile trip,
right.
and definitely could see doing it once or twice or whatever. But 500, that's a lot.
Yeah, nah. And when I'm committed to something, damn it, I'm committed.
Right.
I don't know that I'm that committed.
Yeah, that's a lot. And he says he's just going to continue on and see how many he can log. Miss Selena, my baby said hi.
Hey.
Lottery. What you going to do with that money when you win?
I'm not going to tell a single soul, but there will be signs.
Open up that. What you do is you open up an LLC in like Delaware, I think.
Right.
They don't require you to give you out your identity if you win.
Right.
And so that's you claim that win out of there, and they wouldn't
create a trust.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we didn't win the other night. And Selena said, "You told me we were going to win." I said, "No, the Lord wanted us to get this 1.25 because we can do more with it.
That's right. I can do more good with, and the way the lottery jumps, it'll be 1.5 by the time they draw tomorrow.
Oh
night.
yeah, absolutely. Slan said you could give her some.
I'm sure something can be worked out. But hold on, let's see what Little Bit has to say. She is my accountant.
You want to buy an 11-year-old?
No, we got 8 grandbabies. I love each and every one of them with all of my heart, but they're starting to lose their new car smell.
Yeah, I can understand that. So lottery's 1.25 billion, and if you don't win, Krispy
Kreme is gonna give you a donut.
A free donut if you don't win. So either way, you're a winner.
So I'm loading up the car on Saturday morning. Come on, guys.
That's right. We're going to get a free donuts. Grab the grandkids.
With our house, we can get a dozen.
You'd be the best pop ever. They have over at Waldrond Park. They've got new pickleball courts.
I saw that 6 of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and.
Now, have you played pickleball?
I have never played pickleball. How about you? I was going to ask you the same thing.
No, I want to though. So
it looks like a smaller, but kind of backwards tennis court. So I'm not exactly sure.
Kind of looks almost like
because it's got the 2 squares in the back, and then it's flat up front, up net side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a little bit between ping pong, tennis, and then do you remember playing on the beach the paddleball?
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that too. So I think we probably need to get out there and play.
Well, I mean, there's 6 6 new courts. I say if anybody on here plays pickleball, you shoot us a message, pick the day. If you happen to have extra pickleball paddles, please bring those. Hell, we'll do a little tournament of some sort.
And just embarrass ourselves.
Oh yes. There will not be video of the first annual.
No, we'll probably need to get video.
Peaks and Valley pickleball tournament, but
that'll probably be the peak of the week.
Oh yeah.
That needs to be a thing, the peak of the week. So
how about the hospitals in the area?
Hospitals, yes, absolutely. Roanoke Memorial, number 2 in the state.
Number 2 in the state. Way to go, Memorial.
And then we had Lynchburg, Central Lynchburg General, number 12.
Number 12. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I guess as many hospitals as you see around here, I'm sure a couple of them had to go high. Mm-hmm. But I mean, for all the cancer institutes and everything between Charlottesville and, all of them they got in Norfolk for the military and all that. Mm-hmm. Way to go, Memorial. And I mean, way to go, Lynchburg. I don't know that I've ever been in the Lynchburg hospital.
Right. Yeah,
Memorial was Mom's home away from home there for a while. Yep. We thought we were going to forward her mail there.
That's where I was born. My wife was born there. Most people are born at our time. That was typically where you were born. Was Roanoke Memorial.
Right.
So,
I think 6 of our grandbabies were actually delivered at Lewis Gale.
Okay. We had 4 delivered at Memorial and 2 4 at Lewis Gale. Yeah.
Okay.
4 at Lewis Gale and then 2 at Carillion.
Okay.
Memorial. And they were like, one was both were preemies, and so that's where it was. I don't know.
Gotcha.
Luck said here in California, early 2000s, they opened the first Krispy Kreme there, and he said the line was like a mile long.
Well, they just opened the one. I mean, I don't know if y'all had one before I got here, and it just kind of closed down. It sounds like I got here right after the Hooters closed down in Roanoke. Mm-hmm. But when they opened that one on Hirschberger, Lux, I think it was probably a week and a half before the police weren't directing traffic outside of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason is we had a Krispy Kreme here forever, and it was on Melrose, and then it caught on fire. and the damage was too extensive to rebuild there.
Yeah.
And so they decided to put it out on Hirschberger. And we waited years for that to happen.
Right.
Because it was, they were going to put it here and there, and then they decided to put it on Hirschberger.
And poor Mary works on Hirschberger, and she's a Dunkin' Donuts girl, so she didn't give a damn if they ever finished building it.
Right. And I think, donut-wise, Krispy Kreme if you're going with glazed donut.
Right.
Dunkin' Donuts if you're going with any kind of other donut, I think.
Yeah, and I'll go with that.
Yeah. So it just depends on what kind of donut. And I agree with you. All of that wait for a donut. It's not worth it. I'm not standing in line for a donut.
Yeah.
And that's how it'll be. Everybody in there. I guess you're probably going to have to show where you lost, maybe. You're going to have to show proof of some kind of purchase for donut.
Right.
I mean, for Krispy Kreme.
Well, no, I don't think, it didn't say you had to buy a ticket. It just said if you don't win the lottery.
You should have to ride by through there and go, I'm a loser, baby.
That's right.
So why don't you donut me?
Nice.
Goodness. Yeah, you have to sing some kind of song or do some kind of dance for your.
And I'd be in. I mean, especially if I hit it while the Hot Now sign's on. It's worth a song.
I think as much as going back to school costs this year, I think they should be in schools giving out free breakfast donuts.
No doubt.
So they say that because this year Virginia, I guess, let the tax-free weekend expire.
I guess they had so much other stuff going on at the school boards up north.
Yeah, and so they didn't re-up that. So we didn't have a tax-free weekend for families to be able to save there. So they're saying that the average family will spend $890.
Right.
And you got to think, I'm hoping that average is for all kids together.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. And because we were probably just a little over that. Once you put in shoes and clothes and all that,
right?
We were probably a little over that, but we got 3 kids,
right? And they grow so fast.
God, they do.
So I know Tegan,
and I mean I know you've met all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably no more than that much height difference between Cadence and Layla now.
Yep.
I've actually called Layla Cadence.
Mm-hmm. And she's like this tall. I mean, she was this tall when I first met her.
Right.
So yeah, that's they grow so fast. I think
they
do. There should be some kind of like rent-a-clothes. You rent them, you send them back when they don't fit anymore, right. You rent some more.
Keep going to the consignment at Tanglewood. Are they doing the consignment at Tanglewood anymore? They used to do that every year, but I think they kind of stopped it at COVID.
Anything of it. I know that Once Upon a Child.
Right.
And then
they do it.
Plato's Closet is a great place to save.
Yeah.
We used to take our kids there, and actually my oldest daughter works at.
I was just thinking,
for Christian.
I'm gonna rent these for a year. I'm gonna bring them back. I'm gonna sell them to you.
Yeah.
I'll buy new ones.
I mean, if they're not holy, you should be able to just rent them back. Hey, we're gonna turn these in and get some new ones.
Right.
Kind of like a library book.
Right.
I don't know, something to save people, because that's a lot. And so maybe next week, I know school's starting for you guys next week, but maybe this week we kind of look and see what charities are out there helping families with school supplies and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea.
That way, we can help out in some way and at least give people direction of where they can get that help.
Right.
So we'll reach out to some community things and see what we can find out. And if anybody out there knows, just let us know.
Unfortunately, I drive by it absolutely positively every day when I come here or anytime I come to this side.
Mm-hmm.
I drive by this church damn near every day, if not every day. And I can't remember the name of it, probably because I drive by it every day. But I know every year all 3 kids come home with something going, hey, we'd love to help. Hey, we'd love to adopt for Christmas, da-da-da-da-da. So...
Yeah, that's crazy. And we did well at the Baptist home. I mean, we had all of our school supplies. We had our own little grocery store and stuff. But yeah, Chris, and you were talking about helping Christmas gifts and stuff. We didn't get much of that. So you got sponsored every once in a while, but not very often for Christmas and stuff. National Night Out was on Tuesday to build relationships with police. What's that about? Do you know?
Well, I know what it used to be about. It was really, and I'm sure it's still the same thing, but my parents used to be very involved with the police department and Newport News. Probably because they figured if they weren't sure where I was, maybe the cops did. But it was really there was a span of time in the 90s, maybe late 80s, 90s, that the cops just did not have a real good reputation in the Newport Peninsula area, and so they just kind of came together and said, look. We're going to go out one night, and we're just going to build relationships. We'll pull people over and give them a candy bar, or we're going to go knock on doors. But we really just want to show everybody, and they usually hit the more violent or more underprivileged, what have you, neighborhoods. Okay. Just to go, hey, we don't just come in your neighborhood to arrest. We don't just come in to do this. We want to build relationships. We want to make sure that your kids understand that if they need anything, they need to come to us instead of from us. So.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess, I have a lot of police officer friends, and you got to have respect. And there's a gentleman that he's a realtor now, but he was retired he was an Illinois police officer in Peoria. Oh. And so he retired from that and continued on real estate. But he posted probably 2-3 months ago that they were hiring there.
What,
the Peoria Police Department, $17 an hour.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, you lost your mind at $17. I'm not going out there for $17.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that job at $17 an hour.
Yeah. So,
No.
That's just not. That's zero respect. Period. And then I don't know. And there are bad people and good people everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
No matter what field you're in.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm glad to see that they're out in the community and things like that.
Oh yeah, because they don't. Police don't always have a bad image everywhere.
Right.
And I wish they did get more respect. And then I'm driving 70 down 220 going, why are there 3 cops?
So I don't know if it's true or not, but the new cameras they're putting up are supposed to be, you may get a ticket in the mail now.
Yep, 81 out by Salem.
They
right?
got them out on 581 now too. They've got some newer cameras. So I don't know if that's what it is too.
When did that start? Mary, plug your ears.
Last week, I think.
Okay, that should be good then.
Yeah, last week, but I think they're mailing out tickets and checking the license plates and all that other stuff.
Nice.
So you're riding around with bad license plates and stuff. Be prepared, because they might just send you something in the mail about it.
Right.
Exciting news, because we lived over in the Cave Spring area. Most of our kids, growing up and stuff. Right. Ronde Barber is getting inducted to the NFL Hall of Fame
this weekend.
Yep. So
matter of fact, is the Hall of Fame game tonight? I do not know. But my Raiders are doing so well, I have not kept up with anything NFL this off season.
But he graduated Cave Spring High School
in 93, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember hearing about some twin brothers out in Western Virginia, because I graduated in 90, so I was still keeping up with high school sports a little bit back then. I remember hearing about them, but I never met them.
Right. Yeah, and I thought they were younger than that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought they were like late 90s.
Oh, wow, okay.
Instead of, so yeah, that's crazy. The 611.
Going to start doing excursions in the fall. I haven't heard an actual date. I just heard the fall, but nobody's more excited about that
than I am. They have it on the Transportation Museum's website, I think, the dates. They open up tickets mid-August, and then I think October through November, every weekend, I think they're doing a couple excursions up and back.
Okay.
And they're doing it to up the Shenandoah Valley.
Okay.
So
to get on a steam engine for that long,
And
I like
tickets
it.
start at $99 for, like, I guess the cheap seats.
Right.
And
I'll get the
to-
cheap seats. Y'all can put me on top of this
I think
thing.
you get some
don't care.
kind of special dome view or something like that for $250 a ticket.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's probably not in my budget.
You know.
Yet.
Well, we'll see on Friday.
That's true.
If you win,
Actually, I'll make
drive
that.
to 611.
My granddaddy, my pop was a conductor.
Yeah. Yeah. If you win, you might get to drive 611 right on up there.
Right. I swear I won't make a wrong turn, guys.
We'll come back next Thursday, and you'll be conductor JR.
That's right. I took the crash course.
That's right.
Hilariously, it cost $250,000.
This is kind of exciting because all the businesses and stuff are closing down. Just from the pandemic and all this other stuff. But the Country Sales Music Store up in Floyd,
Right.
celebrating 50 years.
Wow.
So they're having a whole big live music and all this other things. Yeah, I think
Well,
that,
that's exciting.
yeah. And then, have you eaten at Pokey Joe's yet?
I have not. I'm not even sure what Pokey Joe's is.
So Pokey Joe's.
I mean, I know it's a
in
restaurant,
Vinton. It's a newer restaurant, and I'm so glad that Vinton's starting to get restaurants because there forever
Right.
they didn't have too much at all. I mean, you have Bob's right there near Indian River Village, and that's an amazing little
That is. Oh,
dive
that's where
place.
we met Bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know Gunnar, my youngest son, and maybe Carson, but they always wanted their birthday dinners there.
Okay.
And so good food. But so Pokey Joe's is a barbecue place. They've got burgers and stuff like that.
Okay.
So Tegan and I, when we went out to the Roanoke Antique Mall, she hadn't eaten, so you got to feed her. She gets
Right.
hangry, and she.
And nothing's more dangerous than a hangry woman.
Yeah, especially a hangry 11-year-old going through all the hormone changes. It's crazy. So we went there to eat. We were headed to McAdoo's, and I bartend there a couple days a week. So as we were riding by, I was like, "Hey, there's Pokey Joe's. You want to eat there? They have burgers and barbecue." And she's like, "Oh yeah." So we pulled in there and ate, and man, it was wonderful.
So what did you get?
I got their sliced brisket sandwich.
Nice.
And Tegan, she got the Pokey Joe's chicken tenders.
Well, she is the chicken queen.
She is a chicken queen. So she got chicken tenders and fries. So a couple of the pieces, and they cut up in cubes. And so a couple of pieces had fallen off my bun. I was like, man, you got to try this.
Right.
And so she gave it a try, and she's like, oh, can you do this at home? I was like, I can. Because a lot of times when I smoke pizza, she didn't have any interest in it.
Right.
And so, but yeah, she's like, oh, can you do this at home? And so she even liked it. And so, I mean, I think for both of us to have meals, it was $22. Okay. Now, we did get water, but
right.
$22. So not bad.
So not as cheap as McAdoo's, but it's not Five Guys.
That's about the same, but not Five Guys. Good Lord. That would have been $35.
Oh, yeah.
Five Guys.
With water.
Yeah, with water. So Luck said he heard about Scratch Biscuit being awesome in Roanoke.
I've heard that. I have not been by there.
Yeah, I haven't been by there either. So they got a
I know it looks like we've eaten at every place in Roanoke.
they got a biscuit named after my ex-wife there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, so
Yeah, I'll have to go check out Scratch Biscuit.
yeah. So, but yeah, I hear great things about it. But if you're in the Vinton area, definitely try that out. And they've got a couple other new restaurants there. So I think it's starting to just grow on its own. Your glasses bothering you now?
Yes.
At least you don't have to wear the.
Well, they've been bugging me, but I noticed how much of an angle they were at.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yesterday, our business of the week. Yesterday, I went out and talked to Kat and Heather there. So I had no clue that there was an antique mall behind. It's where the Dairy Queen is and Gusnick's.
Oh yeah, no. Mary and I. Did you walk through it?
I did, yeah.
Do they still have the record guy in the far back left corner? Yeah, I mean that person. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but they've usually got a real good selection and usually really good music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there were lots of booths with records. They had the uranium glass there.
Okay.
That turns green under the black light or whatever.
Right.
So they had some of that. We actually, I interviewed Kat in that booth.
Okay.
And then talked to Heather in her booth about, her things and stuff. But they said that every day somebody, they'll sell some of the uranium glass or a record. Or, that seems to be their top sellers in the antique area. So.
Yeah, because Mary and I got together. Neither one of us actually owned a record player, I don't think. But we both just missed vinyl. Mm-hmm. So we ended up having to go get a record player. And, for like 6 months, we would just hit antique joints for the records. Mm-hmm. We weren't even looking at the salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I love the sound of records. I love when the needle hits the record.
Me
That's
too.
I guess it just brings back memories of when I was a child and stuff. We had that big wooden cabinet like this big that you could put 8 records on top or something.
And for me, I think it's just, silly things I miss from my young age. Not everybody, in my friend group anyway, could get it just right in between the two songs or what have you, hit that sweet spot. And so now I just kind of do that just to see if I still got it,
And Luck said, amazing that you collect vinyl. And he does also, he said, come out there to Pasadena at the Rose Bowl swap meet.
Hey, baby, we got something to do on New Year's. Apparently, we need to go to the Rose Bowl swap meet. Well, pretty sure that's New Year's Day.
Friday,
the Rose
you just
Bowl.
take your private jet out there.
Right.
Be like, hey, I'm on my way.
Hell,
I'll just hang out until
I'm trying to get in shape. I just start walking today.
He'll call you Forrest.
That's right.
You may want to just go down towards Virginia Beach and then walk across.
Right.
And then you can say, well, once I got the water, I turned around and went back. So, he said they do the Rose Bowl. They do the Pasadena swap meet every Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And he has
I don't know why I just automatically went to Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was there during that time or not.
I just know it's in Pasadena. So,
yeah. So we'll have some video next week of the Antique Mall.
Okay.
They had some amazing stuff. Tegan was excited because they had a old Barbie RV.
Right.
And you could tell it was from the 80s. She's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know these are hell, And so she was excited to see all that. And then, she just had a good time too.
Well, good.
So, but I'll have that, and then I'm actually going to upload the full interview on our YouTube channel.
Okay, good.
So that you'll be able to see a lot of the stuff they have,
right.
And it's so. I was like, well, when are you open? They're open from 11 to 6 every day.
Right.
I was like, Sunday every day, 11 to 6.
Nice.
And so they're pet friendly, so you can bring, which
Okay.
is scary, man. I'm gonna bring my dog into an antique shop.
Well, you don't want me bringing mine.
Stuff.
Yeah,
right. I'm already like a bull in a china shop. I can't imagine.
Well, and Rex just has to sniff everybody, and he's not built for everybody to be okay for him to come up and sniff.
Right.
You know.
And I think that with R2, I think Peanut would do fine because she would stay close to us. But Albus would be the one, that's our non-pit, non-shedding, non-puppy.
Right.
But he definitely, he would tear some stuff up.
Right.
He'd get a sniff on all the stuff too.
Right.
Because I'm sure it all has smells.
Yeah.
Luck says his nephew sells real estate here. So what's your nephew's name? We'll give him a shout out.
That's right. What's Lux's last name?
It is Theman. Up here, Lux is talking about the Baptist home. Actually, started with this. Potential for skateboarding to get big in Roanoke. No.
Maybe downtown, but
Nope.
I doubt it.
Not. Growing up, I was a skateboarder. We fought. We went to City Hall.
I tried.
We went to, we even tried to get the Baptist home to build us a half pipe there, and they didn't.
Right.
We started, and then it stopped. I think once they started looking at insurance.
Right.
It was like, yeah, we might build it, but your friends can't skate on it. We're like, how are we
Right.
not? Yeah, you can't skate on our half pipe.
Yeah.
But they actually, Lux just tore down Salem had a skate park, and they just tore it down and put pickleball courts there. And so right now, there's
that's a little odd. Why take it away from the kids and give it to the adults? That's just mean.
And I have a lot of adult friends that's still out there
I mean, I guess Tony Hawk still does it, and I think he's got us by a year or two.
Yeah. I mean, I still have friends. I have one at home. I just haven't been on it.
All right.
I just haven't, I don't know if it's time-wise because I don't find myself alone too much.
Right.
It's either I've got the 11-year-old or I'm headed somewhere in the car.
Right.
But yeah, I got one or 2 years ago for Christmas, a longboard.
Oh, okay.
And I just haven't been on it, and I probably need to. Especially I'm down a little bit of weight.
Right.
Might have a little better balance.
I'm up a little weight. I may have better balance.
Yeah. So,
I won't have such a low center of gravity.
So I don't think that.
Yeah, I don't see it making it big here.
Yeah, we're gonna make skating big. I mean, I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna happen.
It got pretty big out on the coast when they built the ramp out at Mount Trashmore.
Mm-hmm. I've been to the Trashmore ramp.
Yeah.
We used to skate. There was a there was a barn in Bedford, and we would go up there and skate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they had a half pipe in the barn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty awesome. I was never really good at half pipes though.
Right.
I just was. I didn't have that kind of balance. So.
Right.
Let's see. Tony Lee is in charge of Bedford Park. I guess the Bedford Skate Park.
Yeah.
He says Tony Lee's in charge of the Bedford Skate Park. So hopefully we.
Did he ever tell us his brother's name?
Josh, I believe. Let's see. Josh.
Okay.
Hey, Josh. Tell Josh we said hey.
Yeah, tell Josh we said hey. We're over at Tanglewood West. Come give us a shout.
And then he's talking about the Baptist home up here. And for those that don't know about the Baptist home, it was a group home back in it went all the way back into the 20s and whatever. But when I was there, late 80s, early 90s, and it's a group home, and you're basically in dorms, and you had what they call a house parent. And they worked 72 hours on, 72 hours off.
Right.
And they basically watched us and tried to keep us out of trouble.
Right.
But we had our own grocery store. We had our own cafeteria. We got this big bell when dinner was ready. They'd ring it.
Right.
And then on the weekends, typically you would eat lunch in the cafeteria, and then you'd have dinner in your dorm, in your
room.
Cottages.
Right.
And we would cook for this weekend. I didn't eat spaghetti forever because that seemed to be the go-to meal on the weekends.
Gotcha.
And so, but you would, it would be your weekend to cook, and so you would cook dinner,
spaghetti.
And somebody had to do dishes and stuff.
Right.
He said that we ate good at the home, and we did. I mean, you could go down there and get boxes of Little Debbie's, and I mean, at some point, I hated Little Debbie. Right. It's like, man, I don't even like that woman anymore. Right. So, but our friend Scott,
how'd she cook all this crap and she's still little?
Yeah. Our friend Scott Kinney would come up there, and he would take boxes home in his backpack. We're like, here. And we'd shove his backpack full of, of Little Debbie.
Now bring me something good to school.
And I think that's the only reason why he came to visit us. Probably. So,
you got any more of them Little Debbie's?
Yeah, that's right. See the water on his lips. Right. So, and then Lux is a Cowboys fan.
Who?
Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
And he knows. I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan too, and I just know that at the end of it, we're just not going to win the Super Bowl.
Right. Well, I just want a winning record.
Right.
Y'all don't make it, and I hear a bunch of people talk smack about Dak and all that stuff. Somebody the other day had a video of Cowboys training camp and said, look, Dak's already in mid-season form, and he had thrown an interception in training camp. And, you know, it's just like, come on now. Even if y'all were good, y'all are in the NFC East.
Yeah.
You're still fighting the Eagles. You're still fighting the Giants, and they usually do well. We'll see what the Commanders do this year.
Washington, whatever they're called.
You know, I think they're the Commanders now, and I wouldn't keep up with it if the Raiders knew where the hell they were going to play from year to year. I liked them in Oakland, and then in L.A., and then back in Oakland, and now in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
it'll
be soon they'll go somewhere else. And,
well, hopefully they can find a quarterback they like there. I thought we were okay with Derek Carr. I don't know why we need Jimmy G.
No idea.
Because San Francisco wants to get rid of him because they got that new kid.
Right.
I can't remember his name, but I know that boy set the NFL on fire the last half of last season.
I don't remember. Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of NFL since they went political.
Right.
I mean,
right.
So we'll keep it at that. I just kind of lost interest once everybody their opinions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. That's usually when Mary and I are like, conversations are usually for commercials. Well, we can do it now. I just wanted to keep up with my Raiders.
Right.
Now I just, okay.
Yeah. And then that's what I may do. I do love football. And that's
I love the sport. I love the game planning you got to do. I love the spirit of football.
Somebody said there's a woman.
At no point did I look at any of them as a role model. Now, looking back, I think Walter Payton was a great role model.
Roger Staubach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you had a lot of really good people that should have been role models, but they weren't who I was watching for a role model back then.
Right, absolutely. I was just trying to stay alive. In the 80s, that's what you had to do. So, yeah, in the 80s, you had to try to just stay alive.
Staying alive.
As far as job markets,
everyone's
still hiring.
Yeah.
I know we say this every week, but literally, if you go down 419, which is the main road, from I guess downtown Roanoke to Salem. It's every little place has now
until 311 when you take a right and go to McAfee's now.
Yeah, and then you don't see anything because they don't have any businesses. Right. And but yeah, everybody's hiring. It may not be what you need.
Right.
But every little bit helps too.
Yeah.
And that's, there's a lot of internships out there. I know that Virginia Western, there are grants for people that want to go into internships there so that you could go to Western, get your certificate in welding or whatever they offer. I don't know that it's exactly welding.
Right.
Whatever they offer, you can get that certificate. The Postal Service is hiring left and right.
Always, yeah.
I'm going to just let you know, if you get hired for the post office, see if you can't take my mailman's place. That dude jacks our mail up all the time.
Right.
We've gone through 3 flags where he's broken our flags off our mailbox.
Oh, wow.
Because he'll hang a box from the flag.
Right.
And I meant to hang crap from the flag. And sometimes it looks like he just took his boot and shoved our stuff in the mailbox.
Right.
And, I just...
Well, and I can't say that about our mailman. He, however, what I will say... We are a Boone's Mill address. We pay our taxes to Roanoke County. But our mailman, I run into him at Hardy more than I run into him in, anywhere else.
Right.
Outside of at our mailbox.
Right.
Yeah,
our guy. He's older, and so I think he's just kind of at the end of his career. Something's just like, I don't care.
I got 30 miles.
That's right. I was going to kick their mail in there. I was like, man, dude is just not.
No, our guy will, if he's got something that won't go in the mailbox, he's at our door. He knows the dog.
Our dude, not even. Our guy's awful. There are times where I'll have all the mail for the 5 houses around us, and I'm delivering the mail for them. I'm like, hey, Lois, here's your mail. Miss Diane, I got your mail for you. And so I'm delivering up and down the street.
Well, again, you've been to the house. We live right there at the corner. You got Back Creek here, and then you got a little asphalt road that goes up, and it's Back Creek Circle, but it's a white sign.
Right.
So. And there's a bunch of mailboxes here, and then we are the only one at the foot of our driveway. So, but you'll have to double check, make sure it's your address. I don't know if anybody's got my stuff up there.
Right.
But, 6951 Back Creek Circle. Oh, Amazon. Actually, that's where I need to go look for my my watch band. I bet they took it up there.
They probably did. Took it to somebody else.
And they'll have a Versa 2 watch and go.
Postal jobs.
Oh, that's cool.
They do have good benefits and pay.
They do.
Most
They do.
definitely. So, everybody's hiring. Things to do this weekend. Good Lord. I'm telling you right now, and there are no big headliners this weekend at the Dr. Pepper Park.
Right.
But the Dr. Pepper Park's starting to get better entertainment than like Salem Civic Center and the Berglund Center.
They really are.
It's crazy.
Didn't they have? Well, don't let me go with didn't they? Excuse my language, but I screwed the pooch on this one. I was supposed to get Mary tickets to Melissa Etheridge 2 nights ago. And I forgot it was coming up in late July, early August, and I feel really bad because the only time I've ever missed Weird Al coming, I told her we wanted to miss Weird Al coming that year. You know, she is on it. She treats me really, really well.
Well, maybe, honestly, just watch Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's going to be like, hey, I got 2 tickets and I can't go.
And actually, Melissa Etheridge is probably the one band that's played there that Facebook didn't tell me it was coming up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
You know?
So hopefully you'll get tickets still for her.
Yeah.
But we got Fuzzy Logic at Salem After 5. The Kings, that's who's playing at Salem After 5.
Okay.
Hold on. No. First Friday.
First Fridays is Fuzzy Logic.
Yeah, I can't even read. So, First Friday is Fuzzy Logic. Salem After 5's got the Kings.
You know, it's been a while since Mary and I have been to First Fridays.
I haven't been probably 10 or 15. I mean,
and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to stall you.
No, you're good. You're good. I like both those bands, Fuzzy Logic and the Kings.
Yeah,
the
me
Kings
too.
are really entertaining. Have you seen?
Really, I have not.
But
I love Fuzzy
one
Logic.
Of those two, go see the Kings.
Okay.
They're an older group.
Okay.
I mean, they're older than me.
Oh wow.
I mean, they're probably 60s, 70s.
Oh wow.
And I mean, they break out with the brass instruments and everything.
Oh wow.
Super entertaining. You'll like the Kings.
So they play some Chicago.
Yeah, you'll like the Kings.
Nice.
And then we have Blue Ridge View Sunset Hike at
Bill Mountain?
It's actually Natural Bridge.
No, that's it.
Yeah, got the Sunset Hike. And then Fleetwood Mac Tribute Band at the Dr. Pepper Park. Fortune Feimster. Do you know that name?
Yes, she is a comedian.
Okay.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, I have no clue who it is. You know.
I've never seen her live, but Mary and I were scrolling Netflix about 4 months ago, baby? And we came across her stand-up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like her.
So, and then let's see here. We have
Matilda at Mill Mountain Theater.
Yeah, which is cool. And then Mountain Valley Cluster Dog Show.
I probably won't go, but I like a dog show. Yeah.
Yeah, dog shows are fun.
Yeah.
but you can't touch your dogs, man.
Yeah, they don't want you petting them, and you're going to feel really, really bad about the way you treat your dog if you go.
Yeah, we were in a Great Dane group, and I think I told this on another podcast of ours, but my daughter Emmy, she's 22 now. But when she was like 4 or 5, we took her to the dog show at Salem Civic Center.
Okay.
And we gave them the rules: no touching, no, blah,
right.
blah, blah. We walked through, and I'll be danged if she didn't have both hands out, just right on all the Danes' heads. Just saying, I was like, oh my gosh, come on.
That would be Layla and Cadence.
Yeah. I was like, we told you.
Because Cadence has never met a stranger, person, animal, whatever. Layla's, for the last 3 years, she's not met a strange dog.
Little dogs freaked her out, but Danes, I mean, she's teeny tiny. I mean, heck, she says she's 4'9". I don't think so.
Right.
I think she's
Is she trying to add an inch?
6, yeah. But so yeah, the Danes were all taller than her. But just I'm like,
nice.
Don't do that. Yeah. Let's see here. We got Bon Jovi tribute, shot through the heart at Dr. Pepper Park.
Nice.
Daleville Summer Concert has the Ben Trout Party Band.
I like that. I know I've said it before. If you have the time, go to the Daleville Town Center. Mm-hmm. Their music thing that they do, it's usually a pretty good band that they have playing out there. Yeah, I've not seen a bad one out there. It's very family friendly. And then you can go across the street if you didn't like anything at the food trucks. Mm-hmm. You got the Tap House, which, I love McAdoo's Bacon Cheddar Burger, but I do have to say the Daleville Tap House is the best non-smash burger in the next 5 counties.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We'll have to try that one out. Got the Big Lick Comic-Con coming up.
Yep.
Berglund Center. I always want to call it the Roanoke Civic Center, and because that's what it was growing up.
Right.
That's what it was growing up. So I always wanted to call it. I keep wanting to call it. And then the Long Goodbye Tour at the Dr. Pepper Park. I've never heard of them either. So
is that a Grateful Dead tribute?
It may be. There is a Grateful Dead tribute playing at the Jefferson Center, I think.
Okay.
Coming up soon. Let's see here. He asked if we like punk or alternative. Punk alternative, I do. Still listen to, Suicidal Tendencies and Misfits, and I was listening to that on the way over here, actually.
I like old alternative. I can't say I've listened to much of the new alternative or the new punk.
Right. Yeah.
Green Day is probably the newest punk of,
Yeah,
and I don't think they were punk.
No, that's not.
They didn't even hit grunge really.
So we used to have in the Roanoke area, it was called the Iroquois. And it was this little club, and honestly, I mean, it was bigger than his room, but it didn't seem like it. And so it was the Iroquois, and they didn't really have an age limit to get in there. Now they did ID you because you couldn't. They served alcohol, so they would put a stamp on you. You could drink or not. But it had like a big dance floor, and then it had like, I don't want to say stadium seating, but like the old bleachers that go up like this.
Right.
But then they had some like chairs and tables on those little step ups.
Okay.
And so, but we used to go watch just local bands could play there, like little local high school bands. So we would go support, our friends that were in bands in high school.
Right.
I got to see Exploited, which is a punk band out of England.
Right.
GBH, which is another punk band. That's where I learned that you cannot slam dance with a girl on your shoulders.
Okay.
It does not work. 3 or 4 steps in the pit, I'm down. She's down harder. So that did not work.
God, that sucked, Rob.
Yeah. And so I definitely missed the Iroquois.
Yeah.
Because I think that was, and it was like $5 to get in or $10 to get in, and it was just a good time.
Yeah, I think it was $5 to get into Checkers back home.
Okay. And I went to some little.
But they really just did DJs. I don't know that they ever had a band there.
Oh, really?
If they did, I didn't make it that week.
I went to some little dive place in Norfolk. It's a theater that has a mermaid.
Norva.
I think. Is that what it is?
Yep.
I got to see the Violent Femmes.
Yep.
There.
That was at the Norva.
Yeah.
Or the boathouse. When time was it?
It was probably 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, it's Norva.
Okay, yeah.
I think the boathouse closed down about 12 years ago.
Okay, yeah. I got to see the Violent Femmes there.
Okay.
And that was an awesome concert. I mean, they played a lot of their newer stuff, but then they played the old stuff that
and I love the Femmes.
And a lot of people don't know the Femmes until you mention Blister in the
Sun.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But that was definitely a fun trip because I left here.
And a lot of people will know Kiss Off.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I left here and watched the show, and then I drove back here. So I got here like 4 o'clock in the morning, up at like 8 to be back in the office to go to work.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's he a little bit said it was Norva.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then he said that's he met the Violent Femmes on their first tour, and he got his name Lux from the Cramps.
Oh, nice.
So
I forgot about the Cramps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can tell you the Dead Milkmen, the Dead Kennedys,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Suicidal Tendencies, Femmes, you know. Because now that I think about it, because I was like, man, that was the stupidest thing you've ever said. Green Day was punk. Probably the hardest thing I've listened to was probably Prodigy. Do you remember Prodigy?
No.
It was mid '90s.
Okay. No, I don't remember that.
Of course, I don't know that they got any airplay.
Probably not.
So,
They asked if we knew the Breeders. I don't.
I've heard of them, but I've not heard them.
And there are a lot of songs I know. I don't have a clue who sings it. I know
Well, that's
the song
Mary.
from beginning to end, but I don't have a clue who sings it.
Right.
That's just how it is. I think that, I mean, there's a ton of other stuff going on in Roanoke.
Yeah.
Besides just that, I know they're having some kind of paint thing at the Taubman Museum.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And I know the country store up in Floyd, they're doing music, I think, the whole weekend this weekend.
Okay.
And then our guy Seth, I'm not sure where he's playing this weekend.
Oh, really?
Um,
We'll have to check his Facebook tomorrow.
yeah, we'll let everybody know where he's playing. We won't go there tonight. But what else you got? What's coming up this week for you?
Oh, well,
Besides
school starts on Wednesday. Back to school night is Monday. So, you know, Jonathan is going into 5th grade. The last year they've got at Clearbrook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he does well this year, he goes to middle school. As God is my witness, all three of the teachers' names, I may know the face, but I can't place any of these teachers' names.
Yep.
I thought I knew damn near everybody in that building. Apparently, I don't know. Apparently, there's 3 I've never met. You know,
Been hiding out with the 5th graders.
So,
Yes, we knew the song Cannonball. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll tell you what.
Not
I'll
off
get
the
back
top of
with
my
you next
head.
week.
Yeah.
Look it up and
Yeah.
I'll get back with you next week on it and let you know, or I'll let you know in the comments too. Yep, went to Andrew Lewis in junior high.
okay.
He asked if I went to Andrew Lewis, and I did, and that's where it actually, at Lewis, when you got in a fight, and I was only in a couple of them, but you would go, Andrew Lewis had a breezeway
Right.
that you'd walk, it was outside and just covered, that's where you'd meet people to fight.
Oh, okay.
So, but I remember going out
Yeah,
there.
we had the grit pit.
We had
Ferguson.
this one person, I'm not going to say her name because we're all friends on Facebook, but I remember her going out there to fight some other girl, and she pulled out her belt with the spikes and
Oh, damn.
beat the girl down. So, yeah,
Right.
there's some brutal fights out there.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, that's the breezeway. I think this week we don't have anything. I mean, I'm trying to clean up my yard and keep up with the veggies coming in, and I'm starting to plant my fall garden now.
Right.
So we got cabbages going in this week, Brussels sprouts, planting some more lettuce, or carrots
Okay.
going in. I'm going to try another second round of cucumbers. We haven't gotten a lot out of our first round of cucumbers.
Right.
And then I'm going to plant more bush
The
beans.
groundhogs ate well.
Yep, absolutely.
On round one.
On yours?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the dogs got a groundhog in our yard the other
Oh,
day.
yeah?
Yeah, they were around the building. I heard the dogs growling, and it wasn't like them wrestling growling.
Right.
And I went around there, and both of them had the groundhog and was like shaking. I was like, leave it. And they left it, and he ran under the building. I think he got it because I didn't see him after that. But
Right.
I'm proud of the dogs for
Trying.
protecting. Yeah,
That's right.
They're like, hey, you're in my yard. You don't belong in my yard.
Oh, yeah, and if Rex can get to something, he'll bring it to the driveway. He's learned he doesn't want to bring it to the door. He gets yelled at when it comes
so
to
he
the
brings
door.
it to the driveway.
Yeah, he'll bring it to the driveway, but he hadn't caught anything lately. But
both-
God, he will bark at his shadow.
Yeah, that's Peanut, and she was a rescue from North Carolina.
Right.
Well, actually, she was a rescue from North Carolina to one of my wife's friends' houses. They were going to have a brand new baby. We should have probably known better.
Right.
But so we were like, okay, yeah, she's a sweet dog, the sweetest dog ever. She barks at every single thing. Hair stands up on her back.
Yep.
And I'm like, you kidding me? And I mean, it's just,
well, you've heard Rex. That's not a bark that you get to go, nah, he's barking at nothing. No, it's one where you're like, dude, I'm trying to concentrate.
Yeah, and that's how she is. But I'm proud of them for protecting our yard. Now I'm kind of wondering, do I have a friend that'll come over she doesn't know, and I want to see if she bites.
Right.
Because I truly don't think she would. And like, she'll bark like she's going to tear you up, and then when we open the door for whoever to come in,
that's right.
Usually, and then when you go, she knows you, but when you go over to the house, she's like, oh, hey, you can give me a pet.
Right.
And then she's up in your lap. So, yeah.
Give me a pet. Hey, I think the treats are in the counter.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now I'm just like, man, who can I get to come over there? I may have Dave Francisco. And then Dave's brave like that. Like, hey, Dave, you want to come over?
if you don't,
Peanut will bite you.
If you don't tell her that's what you're testing, Layla has zero fear.
Oh yeah, see, I wouldn't want a child. And I don't think 100% don't think she would.
Right.
But now after they attacked the groundhog that came in the yard, I'm just like, maybe they would. I don't know.
No, but because Rex is the same way. I mean, he'll bring a possum. He has not caught a deer yet, but he will chase a deer straight out of the yard.
Oh, you're in trouble now, bro. Rex hears you've cheated on him.
Wait. Do you have me on in the living room, or did you snitch on me?
Yeah, it was pre-Rex. Lux wants to know. He said, "So dry, cucumbers are a weird shape and yellow."
Oh wow!
Absolutely. So dry. So the cucumbers are a weird shape because if they get an influx of water.
Right.
So if you don't water them consistently every day, then what happens is those dry days, they kind of shrink up a little bit.
Right.
So I'm getting the same thing. I'll have a cucumber that's regular size, and then at the end it's like all pointy and just weird. And that's what it is, the influx. Yellow typically means that you left your cucumber on the vine too long.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a deficiency in vitamins, but a lot of times I know that my cucumber, they're kind of like squash and zucchini.
Ooh, how big will it get?
Yeah, they're kind of like squash and zucchini. One day you go out there and they're like this big, and then 5 hours later you come out and they're like this big. Yeah, and so cucumbers are the same way. They'll get like if you do the market mores or the bigger cucumbers. I mean, they'll get this big and like that big around and yellow. At that point, they're worthless.
Right.
Yeah, it's not much. Feed them to your chickens.
Right.
So yeah, so it's not you at all. So we got a lot of homework to do this week, as far as getting back. Hopefully, get some charities going.
Yeah, back to school charities. Get the antique video up in. Find out.
We got to do black dog salvages.
We got to do black dog salvage
because we meant to. You and I was like, no, he's never been there. That's why
we truly meant to get there this week, but there was just so much on the plate for both of us this week. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the best laid plans.
That's right. They don't always happen that way. But listen, if you liked what you heard today, hit that like, subscribe, share it with your friends because
tell your friends.
The more we grow and the more comments we get, or even just people just saying, hey, I'd like to hear more about Roanoke. How about take us to Grandin and walk around, or we want to know what this neighborhood looks like, and reach out to us. We'd love to take you on a tour of those.
Oh, well, without a doubt.
More tours coming. We've planned a lot of different things.
Yes.
We've got the Sunday drive that we're going to start doing to where Sundays we're going to go to the Star, or go, just drive.
Or go down the Parkway, or,
Maybe this week that's going to be on the list.
All right.
So, and exciting news for me, though, is we have my wife ordered us ordered for my birthday, Christmas, birthday next year, Valentine's Day, anniversary, probably Christmas next year, and maybe for the next 10 years.
Right.
We have a freeze dryer coming.
Nice.
This week. So we're going to start freeze drying stuff, so maybe we'll get on here and try a couple pieces of something.
Oh, darn right.
I know people are starting to like freeze dry Starbursts and stuff like that because they make them crunchy and they're good and they're not hard on braces.
Really?
But somebody was doing the what are they called? The Mary Janes.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Oh wow.
The Bitto Honeys.
Yeah, because the Mary Jane's already hard.
Yeah, and so what it does though, it fluffs it up and makes it like a, like a Cheeto type.
Oh, okay.
Consistency on the candy because the sugar puffs up.
Oh, okay.
So, and I do like peas. So, but my brother Alan, he lives in Texas. He hates peas. He actually will tell you he's allergic to peas. he said that from childhood. I'm allergic to peas. He is not allergic to peas. 100% not allergic to peas. But I do like peas. I don't grow them at home because I feel like you need too many peas to make a meal.
Right.
I used to grow them when we'd eat the pods with the dinner and stuff, or put it in stir fries. And I would rather grow green beans. So I have 4 trellises of green beans growing this year, which are choking out tomatoes and everything else.
I like peas, but Mary and I are the only 2 in the house that'll eat it. So.
That and lima beans. Do y'all like lima beans?
Mary will knock you out if you bring a lima bean in her house. I'm kidding.
So we need to bring lima beans and some deer.
And deer jerky.
I'm bringing dinner, Mary. Yeah, we're going to do deer and lima beans.
Actually, no, it's navy beans.
Oh, see, there's not much I don't like.
Right.
Yeah, and that's, my belly says that, but Mary said I'm no longer invited to her house. She just said no. Right. She may make you defriend me after this. Right. So if you see me here next week alone, you know JR got grounded. He's not allowed to play with me.
I'm not allowed to play with Rob anymore.
He's a bad influence. So guys, if you are looking to move to the area, have questions, reach out to us. If you don't think this is the area for you, or if you have questions about things to do, just reach out to us. We'd love to have that discussion. It's still a seller's market in Roanoke, which means
very much
you're not getting a lot of concessions on things. Buyers aren't getting their closing costs paid in a lot of instances.
What did we hear the other day? If you're representing a buyer, may as well put them boxing gloves on because you're in for a fight.
It's a battle, and it just it is what it is, and it's that way across the country.
Yeah, I mean we're not alone in this.
Yeah, but we have some creative things that get us into houses a little bit.
Well, when it comes to negotiations, we are fighters. We have an idea of where we need to be.
Right. And Mary says she'll eat lima beans before deer any day.
Okay.
So, good deal. So I'm gonna I could do stuffed lima beans with deer in it. I'm just kidding.
Dude, you don't get
and a little X-Acto knife, little pieces.
Good thing they're redoing that motel.
That's right.
Down by the house.
But don't forget to hit that like, share, and hit that bell so that you know when we're putting up videos, because we're getting ready to start rolling. Until next week,
make good choices
and be safe.